in our book here, Shameless Self-Promotion, From Striving to Thriving for Writers, we believe in integrating reading, writing, and speaking, because we think that that improves students' overall communication capabilities, their ability to understand the world and to express themselves to the world. So how might integrating reading, writing, and speaking help students with their comprehension?
Well, I'm going to take it from the point of view of reading fluency, because that's what we're involved in with the kids doing rehearsal. Two things happen when you become a fluent reader. First of all, you become automatic at recognizing the words. And so that frees up what Melissa was mentioning earlier, this cognitive energy that can be devoted to meaning, comprehension, making meaning. But there's another part to fluency that's sometimes forgotten. It's called prosody or expression. And that simply means reading with expression that reflects the meaning. So when we get students to read prosodically, they're actually reflecting the meaning of the text that they're reading. So again, it's a natural interaction between the speaking voice and the text in making meaning there. So it's just an absolute natural. We called it the bridge from word recognition to comprehension, reading fluency. Most of you have your kids write all the time, don't you?
It's kind of like internalizing the meaning, making so that you're trying to coding the meaning. You're trying to show that meaning to an audience.
Right. That's the goal, is to convey meaning, and you can only do that if you rehearse, number one, and rehearse in a way where the aim is to create a meaningful performance for the audience.
Right. And there's a lot of ways to do performance, and one of those is poetry. There are other ones that are things like song lyrics or having kids read jokes, those sort of things. But they all are in that kind of same genre as fun text to read. In our book that we have, the Megabook of Fluency, that Tim and I wrote together, we have a lot of different texts that we can use, and a lot of it is based on poetry, because poetry lends well to that rehearsal and being able to perform it and have that motivation to enjoy reading something over and over again. And once you do that, then it becomes something that you're able to understand in kids, and we call that comprehension. And in the state of standards these days, there's a term for that is used, and it's called close reading, when you read the same text over and over to gain more meaning. And while you're reading that same text over and over to gain that more meaning, you're also working on that automaticity of words, so that not only does it help with the text you're reading, but also a cold text, a new text that has some of the same words in it, because your brain is getting better at automatically reading those words.
And real quick, a little side, how does writing improve fluency? How does having the students write about what they've read, or having students write
like a reflection?
Right. So
all those things are good. We have a thing called writing fluency. We have, many of us probably suffer from this, where it's hard to get the words down on the page. And
right.
So if we can get kids just to start writing, they become fluent in their writing as well. And I think, again, that bridge between writing and reading happened that way. One of the things I like to talk about in our reading clinic is that our children learn poetry every day, and they will often write their own poetry, using the poems that they're learning as a model for their own writing. So it's a great way of getting kids into exploring that writing dimension by using poems as the model for their writing.
I was also going to say, sorry.
I was just going to say, when kids do that, we call that snapshot writing, because it's very small. And so if they're writing a poem, or if they're writing a quick 2-sentence reflection, and that, I think that kind of snapshot writing gives a lot of information to the teacher, both in terms of what have they in comprehension, and also in terms of what vocabulary do they have at the ready to put on paper,
as well as what do they think is important enough to put in that small snapshot. So you're seeing what the kids are determining as important, and that can help inform your instruction. If they're not picking up what you were expecting, it can help steer you along. It's a poems, short writing like this make great formative assessments. I think these are great over the shoulder. If your kids are working on a Chromebook or a laptop, I always say 20-point type and 85% brightness, because then I can read from 3 feet away and I can see what they're doing.
Great.
I like that.
Okay.
No, Melissa had something to say. Did
I
you?
just was going to add that when your question was about kind of that connection between writing and fluency, and I started thinking sort of the opposite. When kids are fluent with poetry, and I've seen this over and over because we sing a lot of songs, we do a lot of poetry in my classroom, that the vocabulary that's challenging that comes up in those songs that are just fun for them, they use that in their expressive writing. So once it's receptive, then it becomes expressive, and so the fluency helps the writing. It just is the writing helps fluency.
Right. It does.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Everybody stay
Could we
healthy.
try one more? You guys in for one more?